My name's Matthew, and my girlfriend and I, Stacy, started Toyota World Runners last year. This is my 1986 Toyota pickup that we call the Yeti, and this is a new series we're bringing to YouTube called Island Spec. What's up, legends? Thanks for tuning in to this week's video. This is the first episode in a series of videos that we've wanted to make for a while. We want to document all the best rigs on Vancouver Island, and this new series is going to be called Island Spec. Island Spec is going to be a series of videos where we find the sweetest rigs from Vancouver Island, we go wheeling, and we do a full detailed walk around to find the best Island Spec rig. So we're going to go over what it means to be Island Spec. We're going to ask different people what they think it means to be Island Spec and get an idea of where they came from, how they started 4x4, and what they love about their truck. And we're going to start the series off with none other than the Yeti. To me, when I think about Island Spec, I think about a rig that I can drive to the trail, wheel hard all day, take my friends, and drive home at the end. It's got to be light, it's got to be able to squeeze between tight trails, be not too afraid to get whacked by trees, get some scratches, get a few dents, and you know, all those things like lockers and tires, they're variables. They don't necessarily mean that a rig's Island Spec or not. Those are just my thoughts, and I'd be really curious to hear yours. So the Yeti is a 1986 Toyota pickup. He was originally a two-wheel drive from California. Starting at the front of the truck, we've got a old school West Can off-road design front bumper and a Runva XP11.5 winch with synthetic rope and remote, wireless remote. Got our recovery points here that usually have shackles when people don't steal them. And obviously the main part of this truck is it's been solid axle swapped. So this is a pretty typical Toyota solid axle swap build. It's got a 1985 mini truck front axle. It's been geared with Yukon 529 gears, and it has a Lockrite locker. We're using 4-inch trail gear leafs, which I would actually like to switch out for third gen pickup rears and have the rears up front, but these leafs work for now. We also have the OTT high steer kit with trail gear, pitman arm, and FJ80 555 tie rod ends. This whole front axle was recently rebuilt with coil bearings and Marlin Eco Seals. I always get the Marlin kit when I rebuild front axles. I don't really like the trail gear stuff. I try and stay away from trail gear when I can. So we got the Marlin kit. I still need to add knuckleball gussets, and you can see there's still no armor on this diff, and it's definitely been beat up. We also have 14-inch Bilstein shocks up front, and obviously the IFS steering box to accommodate the high steer when you do the solid axle swap. We've also got greasable shackles on the leaf springs up front. We've also got the stainless steel extended brake lines and the big brake upgrade. So I've got the V6 calipers and Land Cruiser FJ40 rotors, which change the game as far as braking power when combined with the 1-inch bore master cylinder and booster from a V6 truck. Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know that our new t-shirts are live in our store, www.toyotaworldrunners.com. You can also purchase our new decal design there as well. So go check it out, and thank you so much for your support. The tires we're rocking are 37 12.5 R15 Interco Truxus MTs. I absolutely love these tires. I did a review on these tires, which you can check out in the top corner. And I'm rocking the classic Steelies. These are 10 wides, which I painted bronze. And of course, we've got the AZN manual locking hubs. We've got custom drive shafts front and rear on this truck. Shout out to Jared from Western Driveline. If you guys need any driveline parts or drive shafts made, he's the guy to hit up on the island. And I've got Fabsol rock sliders. I love these things. I've beat the crap out of these sliders, and they held up really well, even when I rolled the truck, and we'll talk about that. Surprisingly enough, these are bolt-on sliders, which is super unconventional, but it's actually been incredibly helpful for me, especially when I had to cut this part out and do rust repair on the cab corner. Hell yeah, how about that? I could drop the sliders and was able to do all that rust repair, no worries. I also love that there is a kick out on the side that's been super helpful on the tight island trails. Moving on to the rear of the truck, we've got Dodge actually in this truck, 63-inch leaf springs with a 1-inch block and a boomerang double shackle setup, which I'm kind of on the fence about. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it, but it gives the truck a massive amount of droop. And we've got some super old beat up Rancho shocks in the rear, which are probably 10 or 12 inches, I'm not sure. Got the Trail Gear rear bumper. Might not be the sexiest, but it works. I've banged this thing off a ton of rocks and it doesn't bend. The rear axle in this truck is a V6 housing and diff from a 1986 4x4. It also has 529 Yukon gears and a lock-right locker. The rear of the truck also got stainless steel extended brake lines, and we swapped out the poly bushings on the bed mounts for billet aluminum body mounts to accommodate the weight of the Wilderness. These fender flares are made out of garden edging trim, and they work. We get lots of questions about the canopy that's on this truck and what it is, where we got it. This is a Wilderness Adventure pop top canopy that we got from Denver, Colorado. I've tried for years to find one of these ever since I saw one way back in 2013. And I found it on Craigslist, and we shipped it to Seattle, drove down to Seattle, picked it up, and have been rocking it intermittently ever since. Weird, it wasn't even planned. It's super heavy, but it is super rad. So the Wilderness Canopy, if you haven't seen one before, is a pop-top camper shell where the bed swings over this way and creates a little awning here, and then you've got the tent and the huge stand-up height on the inside, which allows the entire back of the truck to be storage or chill space. It's freaking rad, and we've had, I think, 6 people hanging out in the back of the truck playing cards when it's been crappy outside. So that aspect of it is amazing, and you know, we love it for that reason alone. The interior storage, the bed on the side, and then all the hangout room it creates. One of my favorite things about the Wilderness is the subtle design elements that you don't really see in a lot of today's builds, like how these curves match, like the shape of these windows, and how the front of the top part is taller than the back and it slowly tapers down, and then the extended back. It's just these little subtle things that I love about it that create a unique look. Yeti's still rocking a 22RE and a 4-speed transmission, which by the time you see this, it might be getting swapped out for a 5-speed. Anyway, it's a 22RE under the hood, not much done to it. It's got 250,000 kilometers on it and a header and a 2.5-inch exhaust with a stainless tip MagnaFlow muffler. Nothing crazy. The motor does all right. It gets good gas mileage. It lacks power, but it works. It's reliable. Behind the 4-speed transmission on this truck are 2 gear-driven transfer cases, each with the factory 2.28 gearing and Trail Gear twin sticks. So we got a super low crawl gear, especially combined with the 529 diff gears. The reason the cab is blue and the box is black is actually because I rolled this truck last November, which was a really sad day, but it led to me getting a really clean interior, which we will show you now. So the original cab on this truck had been painted black and had a partially blue interior. And I secretly always wanted it to be blue on the inside and the outside. So when I rolled it, I specifically sought out finding a blue truck, and I lucked out when I found this one because the interior was mint. And I got all the things that my base model cab was missing, like tilt steering column, intermittent wipers, and cruise control. So this is a pretty standard cab as far as Toyotas go. You can see the twin sticks here and this little custom center console thing that I made. It's still got to get painted and stuff, and there's a few things that need to be buttoned up, but we got a nice stereo system, 6x9s behind, and 6-inch door speakers. You can see like the interior panels are mint, the dash is mint, all the gauges and everything work. We kept the original glove box from the Yeti. I also got a clock in this cab, which is sweet, I didn't have before. The old light bar switch, and you know, we got lights up there. It's pretty stock standard, but it's complete. There's no missing panels, and the carpet's nice, and it just feels clean in here, and that's one of my favorite parts. The seats too. The seats are freaking mint, which is why I rock the seat covers. Try and keep them that way. This is also where I keep my winch controller. And all the tools and air compressor is behind the seat. So this is the first look at the Island Spec series. We're gonna be looking for the most badass trucks on the island that can drive to the trail, go wheeling, and we'll do a full walk around video. So that might be you. So stay tuned for the next one. This is gonna be an ongoing series that we're bringing to YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching, and enjoy this content of the Yeti crushing some trails.
No, I didn't stop. It's still going, but like the dramatic pause with your hand on the tire.
It was perfect.